What if I told you that a single rocket booster has now flown to space and back 36 times, and it's still not retired? That means the cost of reaching orbit has dropped by over 90% in just a decade. And the rocket that just broke that record is not even SpaceX's most advanced vehicle. I remember watching the first Falcon 9 landing attempt years ago, and honestly, I did not believe it would work. Watching a rocket come back down like a falling skyscraper and land perfectly felt like science fiction. But SpaceX kept failing, kept learning, and kept landing. Today, they have successfully recovered rockets over 600 times. That changes everything about how we access space. The headlines talk about Mars colonies and moon bases. But what the headlines are not telling you is that the real revolution is happening right now in the economics of getting off this planet. In 2026, SpaceX is launching nearly 80 Falcon 9 missions per year, deploying thousands of satellites, and preparing the largest rocket in history for crewed lunar missions. The future is not coming, it is already here. Welcome back to Tomorrow's Science. Let's dive in. Before SpaceX, every rocket was a one-way ticket. You burned it, you lost it, you built another. That made spaceflight absurdly expensive. SpaceX changed that by landing boosters back on Earth. In April 2026, they completed their 600th successful rocket recovery. That is not a test, that is routine. One booster, designated B1067, has now flown 36 times. That is 36 missions on a single piece of hardware. The economics are staggering, but Falcon 9 is just the beginning. Starship is the largest and most powerful rocket ever built, taller than a 40-story building. In May 2026, SpaceX launched the upgraded Starship V3 for the first time. It carried 20 Starlink simulators and completed a successful splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Starship is designed to be fully reusable, both the booster and the upper stage. That could reduce launch costs by another order of magnitude. SpaceX is not just building rockets. They are building the largest satellite network in human history, Starlink. As of June 2026, over 10,000 satellites are in orbit. In the first half of 2026 alone, SpaceX deployed over 1,580 new Starlink satellites. That is more than most countries have launched in their entire history, and they are not stopping. SpaceX has applied to launch a next-generation constellation of 100,000 satellites. That is 10 times the current size. NASA has selected Starship to land astronauts on the moon for the Artemis III mission, currently planned for 2027. That will be the first lunar landing in over 50 years. A version of Starship is being developed specifically as a lunar lander. It will carry astronauts from lunar orbit down to the surface and back up again. This is not just about flags and footprints. The goal is to establish a permanent presence on the moon, a proving ground for Mars. Elon Musk has made it clear, the moon is a stepping stone. The ultimate goal is to build a self-sustaining city on Mars within the next 20 to 30 years. The first cargo missions to Mars could launch before the end of this decade, carrying materials and robots to prepare for human arrival. Musk has said he wants to send the first humans to Mars within 5 years, and thousands within a decade. That timeline is aggressive, but SpaceX has a track record of proving skeptics wrong. The economics of spaceflight have been completely rewritten. Before SpaceX, launching a satellite cost over $50,000 per kilogram. Today, it is under $3,000. Reusability is the key. A Falcon 9 booster that cost $60 million to build can now fly 36 times. That spreads the cost across dozens of missions. This is why SpaceX can launch nearly 80 missions a year. They are not building new rockets for every flight. They are reusing the ones they already have. SpaceX's success has forced every other space company to rethink their approach. Blue Origin, Boeing, and even national space agencies are now racing to develop reusable rockets. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin recently raised $10 billion at a valuation of $130 billion. They are betting big on their own reusable systems. But SpaceX has a massive head start. They have already flown hundreds of reusable missions and learned from countless failures. The gap is not closing quickly. Lower launch costs are unlocking entirely new industries. In orbit manufacturing, space tourism, asteroid mining, all are becoming economically viable. SpaceX itself is planning to build orbital data centers and expand its Starlink network to support AI and global connectivity. The space economy is no longer science fiction. By 2030, the global space economy could be worth over $1 trillion. SpaceX is positioned to be the dominant player if they can keep their lead. But the path is not easy. Starship still faces technical hurdles. Orbital refueling, heat shield durability, and reliable re-entry are all being tested. In the May 2026 test, one of Starship's 6 engines was lost during ascent. The vehicle still completed its mission, but these are the challenges of pushing boundaries. SpaceX has a culture of test, fail, fix, repeat. Each failure teaches them something new. That is how you build a rocket that can take humans to Mars. Behind every launch is a team of thousands, engineers, technicians, and mission controllers working around the clock. SpaceX now employs over 15,000 people. The company has become a magnet for the best talent in aerospace. People are drawn to the mission, making humanity a multi-planetary species. That mission, the belief that we belong among the stars, is what drives SpaceX forward. It is not just about rockets. It is about the future of our species. By 2027, Starship is expected to land humans on the moon. By 2028, orbital refueling could be operational. By 2030, the first cargo missions to Mars could be underway. The next 5 years will determine whether SpaceX can deliver on its promises. The stakes could not be higher for the company and for humanity. If they succeed, they will have made spaceflight as routine as air travel. If they fail, the dream of Mars will be pushed back by decades. SpaceX has already changed the space industry forever. They have proven that reusability works, that costs can be slashed, and that the private sector can lead humanity to the stars. The question is no longer if we will become a spacefaring civilization. The question is when and how many of us will get to go. I want to hear from you. Do you believe we will see a self-sustaining city on Mars in our lifetime? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Tomorrow's Science for more deep dives into the technology shaping our future.